If you aren't playing fantasy football by now, you're seriously missing out. Even two-time Super Bowl champion and Walter Payton Man of the Year, Eli Manning is getting in on the action. What's up, Eli? How are you?
I'm doing great, Bill. How are you?
I'm doing all right. You know, it's week 8 of the NFL season, and I believe this is your first year playing fantasy football. What do you think so far?
Well, I played last year for the first time, but I wouldn't even really almost consider me playing because I did such a bad job drafting my team. I kind of went based off personal experience, guys who I had played against, Giants teammates, and guys that I just thought were good guys. And I learned quickly that's not how you should draft your fantasy football team. So this year, definitely relied more on Watson with IBM. Using the boom bust packages, every week to kind of put my lineup together. Use a trade assistant with IBM Watson, looking at the trade packages, knowing the players to watch, players to trade, don't trade, looking at positions. So using all the features that Watson has in the ESPN Fantasy Football app is the way to go. So now, hey, I'm 4-3. I'm making a good effort and in the mix to try to make a push to make the playoffs.
Who's in this league with you, and who's on your team?
So the league is just a bunch of buddies, kind of from the New York, New Jersey area, guys I've met in this. So they've been doing this for like 15 years at least, maybe a little bit longer. They've had a group of 10 people. One guy either got dropped out or got kicked out. Not quite sure the exact rules. So I got invited in. I assume I got invited because they knew I'd never played before. It'd be an easy win for them. And so it's worked out. This past weekend was actually a tough week for me. I used the trade assistant a ton because, Justin Herbert's my quarterback. I got Mike Williams. I got Keenan Allen. CeeDee Lamb, all of them were on a bye week. Michael Thomas, I drafted him thinking he'd kind of be back by now. Hopefully he was not. So I was short a receiver. I did not have enough receivers to fill my lineup. And so I'm sending out trades. No one's accepting them. Finally, I'm sending out, offers I should not be doing. Watson was like, this is not a good idea. You should not propose this trade. This is very unfair to you. But, eventually I was getting beaten so badly that I just said, it's not worth trading right now for this 1 week. I'm just going to bite the bullet, take the loss here, and move on to next week.
I want to ask you about this trade evaluator from IBM Watson, because in one of my leagues, the commissioner, now keep in mind that's a key factor, the commissioner just traded Keenan Allen and Chase Edmonds for Ezekiel Elliott. Eli, I'm smelling collusion here a little bit.
Yeah, it doesn't sound. I don't think Watson would give that as a fair trade. So although Keenan has not been, he's on the team. In the last few weeks he has not scored a ton of points, but he definitely has the talent. And I always kind of thought with receivers, like if they go a week or two and don't have many points, that's when you want to start them. Because all of a sudden he's in the quarterback's ear. The coordinator is kind of like, hey, we got to get this guy going. And he's such a good player. So I expect that if he's had a few weeks where he hasn't scored, I kind of go with the gut. That's when I use my football knowledge, especially with the receivers and how that works. And the quarterback's going to find a way to get him the ball and get him into the game plan to get some touchdowns.
Yeah, very, very shady commissioner in that league. I'm not happy about it. Let's talk about the Manningcast. You and Peyton, you guys are doing a great job. You're taking America by storm. It's the only way I will watch Monday Night Football whenever you guys are on. You have some awesome guests. LeBron James has come on. Tom Brady was on this past weekend. Nick Saban, Sue Bird, WNBA legend, and really passionate Seahawks fan. If you had your pick of the litter, which it seems you do, who is the ideal guest for Eli Manning?
I can't reveal some of the guys we still have coming up. So it's been a lot of fun getting the guests. A lot of it is like, it's just guys, that Peyton and I have a personal relationship with. So, or girls. So we're sending text messages out. Say, hey, you want to come on the show? Here are, kind of what games we're doing and who's playing. And some of them, are obviously current football players. So it's a little different, but are just, they're fans of football. They'd be like, hey, I want to come out on when Seattle's playing, or this week works for me. And so, it's been a lot of fun getting the guests. And I think it's always more fun when you have a personal relationship with someone on the show. It's a little easier to ask the questions, know their personality, set up a funny story that you've kind of experienced together. So it's been a lot of fun doing it with Peyton, talking football from my couch, and having great guests to analyze some of the games.
All right, so you've dropped 2 Wedding Crasher references so far. The first one was Red 7, Red 7. No one knows what that means. Then you dropped Mom Meatloaf. You got to try to work in, and maybe you say it right to Peyton, grow up Peter Pan, Count Chocula. Shut up when you're talking to me, or you shut your face when you're talking to me. And you got to try to work in Motorboat. Just somehow, I don't know what to do, but that's your homework assignment for Monday night.
All right, I can do that. I think I can squeeze those in. The painting was a gift, Todd. I'm taking it with me. Maybe I'll get that one.
I love that one too. The double middle finger. It's kind of a classic moment now for Monday Night Football history. Who's the first person to call you and yell at you after that? Your wife, someone from ESPN, your mom or dad? Like, who really gave it to you the most?
So it's funny because it happened in the fourth quarter. My parents were actually in town that weekend, so they were watching the game from upstairs. My dad came on during halftime, but all of a sudden the fourth quarter it became a blowout. So they went to sleep. My parents went to sleep. My wife went to sleep, and so I didn't see them that night. It was late, and so the next morning I'm kind of up. I'm having some coffee. My parents are down there, and I'm just kind of like moping around, like, all right, who's the first one that's going to yell at me and give me a hard time? And they had not seen it, so they didn't know. They're like, hey, great, they're like, hey, great game. I thought everything went well. Y'all are really good. Too bad it was a little bit of a blowout. And so I'm like, oh, they haven't seen it. So like all of a sudden I'm like, all right, I got to go. I got to run, and got out the door. And not until I came back that afternoon, my dad's just like, you did it, huh? That's what you did. And so, he had known the story. He was actually pretty supportive and was like, you know what? If this is the worst thing you do on national TV in this telecast, I think y'all will be very successful.
I mean, Marshall did just drop the F-bomb this past week. What we ranked it one of the Jimmy Traynor ranked it one of the top 10 greatest F-bombs on national TV ever. But I want to talk about another guest that you just had on, Tom Brady. He got off scot-free by giving this guy a couple signed jerseys and 1 Bitcoin. The guy should have got 10 Bitcoin, Eli.
Hey, he's a good negotiator. He's whoever was doing that deal. Hey, they threw a lowball offer and the guy accepted. But I agree. That guy, he should have been a hard ball. He should have been like, nope, I'm keeping this ball. But you know what? Obviously, he's a fan. He's a fan of the Bucs. They won a Super Bowl last year. He wants them to keep playing well. He's loving Tom Brady. So. Yes, he could have, played hardball and got a little bit more, but, overall, I'm sure Tom and the Bucs will figure out a way to give him a little bit more and make it worth his while.
All right. You have the Chiefs and the Giants on Monday night this week. The Chiefs, that Super Bowl loss hangover thing, it looks pretty real. And the Giants, they've been struggling. I know they won against the Panthers this week. Have a little momentum going in. Andy Reid really well. Steve Spagnuolo really well, probably more so than this current Giants coaching staff and scheme. What are you expecting from the game on Monday night? And is it going to be hard for you to almost be critical of what you see on the field from Big Blue?
Well, I think normally when someone's broadcasting a game, they're not supposed to show alliance to a team. That will not be the case Monday night. I will be rooting hard for the Giants. I am a season ticket holder of the Giants. I am a Giants fan. So I'll be rooting for the Giants. And just hope they can build off last week's game. Get a little momentum going. Defense played outstanding. The offense has been solid and they just haven't exploded yet. So hopefully they can kind of they can put that perfect game together where the defense plays well, gets turnovers, does a great job on third down, and then the offense can hit some of those explosive plays. They've been, they're kind of riding the injury train right now a little bit with some of the receivers and offensive line and Saquon. So hopefully get some more guys back. But Kansas City's they're struggling offensively. They're turning the ball over. They're making some mistakes. Their defense is giving up some points, so the offense is trying to press and make plays. So, I'm just hoping. I always think a team after they kind of play don't play their best the week before, they can be kind of dangerous the next week. So I'm hoping they don't fix all their problems and the fact that they have an extra day to try to fix them. They don't fix them this week. So I'll be rooting for the Giants. Hopefully they can ride those momentum a little bit and get on a win streak.
Eli, are the Giants the new Jets? Is it this bad?
No, don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that. No, we can't go there. Can't go there. Don't insult
Let's talk
me.
about a big weekend for you. Ole Miss retired your jersey number, and then also your nephew Arch was on a recruiting trip. Is that like too much pressure? The kid's only in high school. He's got a big pedigree with his grandfather playing, his two uncles playing. Is it too much for a high school kid to kind of have all this focus on him right now?
I feel for him. I really do. I mean, it's unfair expectations what he's going through. But you know what? I have been impressed with Arch just on his demeanor, how he's handled this. He's not on social media. He's not getting a big head. He's not getting overwhelmed with it, which it could easily happen. And I think he's got the right attitude. And I've told him, I said, just, hey, enjoy being a junior in high school. Like, don't overthink this. This is a great time in your life. You're playing football with your best friends, guys you've been playing, since, you're in the backyard with them when you're 10 years old. So just enjoy this time in your life. Have fun on these recruiting visits. Get a sense of the campus. Get a sense of the players on the team, the coaches, and who you have a good, communication with and good rapport with. So just find ways to enjoy it, have fun with it, and you'll know when you hit the right place. You'll know when you got to make that decision where the right place to go is. Listen to your heart, and you'll make the right decision.
All right, let's go rapid fire, either or. Ready?
Ready.
Play action or 5-step drop?
Play action.
Roll out and run for a first down or a QB sneak up the middle?
Roll out, run for a first down.
Peyton or Cooper?
Cooper.
Super Bowl from 07 or 11? It's impossible. Impossible. Tie. Perfect spiral for 15 yards or a duck for 45?
A duck all day.
O-line in the first round or wide receiver?
O-line.
Eli, hindsight's 2020. The Giants in 2014 take Odell Beckham Jr. The next pick is Aaron Donald. I mean, that one's got to sting a little bit for the Giants organization.
Well, the draft, you never know. You just don't know. Obviously, Odell in his first 4 years was unbelievable, and tons of catches, tons of big plays, and was a tremendous player. Did not work out towards the end, but Aaron Donald is. You don't know that, you can't look back and at the time, now say, oh, we should have drafted him. I mean, every team could do that. How about Tom Brady? What is every team doing for 6 rounds, not drafting this guy? So it's unfair to go back and analyze it in that sense. But obviously Aaron Donald is still playing unbelievable. He is a freak on the defensive line, and just, he is a force to be reckoned with.
I want a Jim Fossil, may he rest in peace. I want a Jim Fossil prediction for your fantasy team. This team will make the playoffs. Let's hear it.
For my fantasy team, will I make it? Yes. This team, yes, 100%. I'm making the playoffs this year, making a run.
All right, Eli Manning, thank you for your time. Plenty more great Monday Night Football broadcast with you and your brother Peyton that we look forward to every week with the Manningcast. And go check out that IBM Watson trade evaluator, because some of these crazy trades that are happening in fantasy football will not happen thanks to that new toy you have over there with IBM Watson.
Definitely. Thanks a lot, Bill.